Whether we like it or not, Dwight Howard was one of the best players in NBA history, as being one of the best defensive players of all time, winning multiple titles that some NBA players can only dream of, and still not being on the top 75 NBA players of all time. A shock for most people, even if the player has built a bad reputation over the years.
I am so disappointed at this list because Dwight Howard gets disrespected so much.
There were no questioning whether Howard should be nominated. So what caused the player to not be nominated? And why does everyone describe it as one of the biggest snubs in NBA history? We're going to cover everything in this video, but to understand all of that, let's dive first into the beginning of Dwight Howard's professional career. As we all know, the young Howard started his journey when he joined the Orlando Magic team. However, he joined a Magic that was not in its best shape. The squad had finished the previous season with only 21 victories for 82 games. And to make it worse, they had lost in their team the NBA All-Star Tracy McGrady. However, this did not discourage the young player, as he had an excellent performance for his first season, with an average of 12 points and 10 rebounds per game. Howard imposed himself as being the youngest player in history to average a double-double in a regular season. But that's not all. He also became the youngest player in NBA history to average at least 10 rebounds in a season. Overall, a promising season for the young player. The second season has started with two main changes. First, the coach at the time, Brian Hill, took the decision to switch Howard's position to a full-fledged center instead of a point guard. And the second big change was that the guy had gained over 20 pounds of muscle. He appeared like a totally different person. Those changes didn't stop him from making records. And on the 15th of November 2005, he became the youngest player ever to score 21 points and gather 20 rebounds in the same game. The worst thing about this is that his biggest strength wasn't in his scoring ability. No, Howard's biggest strength is his world-class defense. His explosiveness and his ability to react so quickly became a nightmare for the opposite team to get points. The 1st of February, 2007 was a special day for Dwight Howard as he was selected as a reserve on the Eastern Conference squad for the NBA All-Star Game for the first time in his career. Over the season, he was named to the All-NBA third team at the end of the 2006 to 2007 season. It was just a matter of time before Howard's career started to boom. It just needed a little something, just a small opportunity that he could grab to make his career explode. And then happened the 2007 season, a season that most consider the best season for the Magic to this day, complemented with probably one of the best performances from Howard. In terms of personal achievements, Howard was selected this time as a starter for the Eastern Conference All-Star team. In addition, he won the NBA Slam Dunk Contest wearing an iconic Superman costume, which has given the player a huge rise in popularity. Howard guided the Magic to their first division championship in over a decade, securing the third seed for the 2008 NBA playoffs in the process. During the opening round against the Toronto Raptors, Howard's impressive performance, including 3 games with 20 points and 20 rebounds, played a pivotal role in Orlando's victory in 5 games. Remarkably, Howard's total of 91 rebounds in the series surpassed the combined rebound count of the entire Toronto frontcourt. During the second round against the Pistons, the Magic faced defeat in a 5-game series. Howard's outstanding season performance earned him his inaugural selection to the All-NBA First Team, along with an inclusion in the NBA All-Defensive Second Team. In the 2009 season, we could easily say that Howard was officially the best center in the NBA. No one could compete with his athleticism. Whether it is from power, speed, or jumps, no one could get past through him. Andre Iguodala said after a game in the 2009 NBA playoffs that It's like he can guard two guys at once. He can guard his guy and the guy coming off the pick and roll, which is almost impossible to do. If he gets any more athletic or jumps any higher, they're going to have to change the rules. Dwight eventually won the NBA Defensive Player of the Year award, a well-deserved award that he will not just win once, but 3 times consecutively, making him the first player in history to win 3 consecutive Defensive Player of the Year awards, an achievement that has never been reproduced since then. So you might ask you then, so how did he not get nominated in the list of the top 75 NBA players of all time? Well, the biggest factor that led to Howard not being on the list is certainly his performance during the rest of his career. After a trade from Orlando to the Lakers, with a team that had 2 monsters such as Howard and Kobe Bryant, people had no doubt that the Lakers would destroy the competition. Unfortunately, the reality tells a different story, due to a difficult recovery from back surgery. The number 12 struggled to perform as he lacked the explosiveness and speed he used to have. In addition, he suffered multiple injuries that led him to be absent partly during the season. And from the times he would appear on the season, he would complain because he would not get the ball enough and felt that Kobe was shooting too much. At the end of the season, he became a free agent in the summer and decided to stay with the Houston Rockets for 3 years, a team he will get into conflicts with James Harden, complaining for the same reason as for Kobe Bryant. He will then spend 1 season each on the Atlanta Hawks, the Charlotte Hornets, and the Washington Wizards. 3 seasons in total where he would not be very active, and in fact, will play the softest in his team. Then in the 2019-20 season, D12 went back to the Lakers where he brought a much better performance, being in the shape of his life. It's in this season when he will finally win his first ever NBA championship. On November 21, 2020, the Philadelphia 76ers inked a 1-year contract with Howard valued at $2,564,753. During his tenure with 76ers, he maintained an average of 7 points and 8.4 rebounds per game. Howard took to the court for 69 games with the Sixers, making 6 starts and playing for an average of 17.3 minutes per game. Additionally, he faced a 1-game suspension following a physical altercation with Udonis Haslem, during which both players received technical fouls, and Haslem was subsequently ejected from the game. An overall bad season for the player. Then I will not talk about the rest of his career, as the subject of this video is why Howard should be in the top 75. Therefore, it would be completely irrelevant to talk about any season he made after 2021, as they made this list in 2021. To understand why Howard did not end up being on the list, we need to understand how that list was made. The top 75 players of all time list was made through a voting system that was mainly represented by a panel of reporters, current and former players, coaches, general managers, and team executives. So now you probably understand. But in addition to that comes the fact that a lot of the basketball community only remembers the last 5 years of Howard's performances, which were honestly not that good, yes, but they have completely forgotten about the time when Howard was for no doubt the best player in the NBA, when no one could match Howard's physicality. And although, yes, his technique is a bit odd sometimes, and yes, he struggles to shoot from long ranges, he is still a complete nightmare defensively, even if Howard is still quite hated among the basketball community. Most people were shocked that Howard wasn't even on the list, as the majority describe it as the biggest snub of NBA history.
He was one of the guys that I thought for certain would make this list, because if Dwight Howard would have had a career-ending injury and retired in 2015, he's on this list.
And while everyone didn't expect that, Howard himself said that he knew he would not be on the list.
I knew I wasn't going to be on it.
Why?
Politics. I already knew. I knew as soon as they made a 75 list, I said, yeah, they ain't going to put me on. They ain't going to put me on the 75 list. I might well go and forget about it.
In conclusion, while Dwight Howard has his ups and downs, we cannot deny the fact that Dwight Howard was the best player in the NBA. Mentioning his list of trophies is just enough to show that Howard was not just a regular NBA player. To show you an example, he was 3 times the Southeast Division champion in 2008, 2009, and 2010. He also won the Olympic gold medal in 2008, won the Eastern Conference, and many other awards that I didn't mention. Even if Dwight joined the Taiwan League and is not the player that he used to be back in the day, although he had a good season in Taiwan, we will not forget Howard's mark in the history of basketball and his influence over the NBA. What do you guys think? Do you feel like he deserved to be in the top 75? Let me know in the comments. Thank you guys for watching this video up to this point. If you have enjoyed it, you can support our channel by clicking on the subscribe and notification buttons so you don't miss our next video. Leave a like and share this video with a basketball fan. See you next time.